Let's talk about how the rise in white supremacy directly correlates to the rise in fatphobia. And the amount of GLP-1 ads I get on social media, but then the Mike Tyson commercial and the Super Bowl calling us fat and nasty.
My sister's name was Denise. She died of obesity at 25. She had a heart attack. I was so fat and nasty. I would eat anything. I was like 345 pounds. A quart of ice cream every hour. I had so much self-hate when I was like that. I just wanted to kill myself.
Has led me to a point where I feel like it's so important to keep reiterating that all of these things are interconnected and they are all on the rise simultaneously for that reason. In the establishment of global white supremacy, the colonization of America, the transatlantic slave trade, largely specifically white colonizers in America started trying to formulate ways that they could basically put into place systems of oppression intentionally so that they could function off of each other and work to create this larger framework that they were trying to put in place. That being said, throughout the dawn of history, the dawn of time, women have always, and men have always been born in various body types, one of them being larger. That's just scientific fact. I don't know why we would be arguing with that. I don't know why we act like people, even like myself, who are slightly bigger, who are born like that and have always been that way. No matter how many sports I play, no matter how little I eat, I'm always thick. Doesn't matter. Imply that they're unhealthy, they're binge eating, they're lazy, and that's why they're like that. That's why they're thick, that's why they're chubby, that's why they're fat. And if they would just work out and eat less, they'd be thin. No. If I work out and eat less, I'll lose maybe 15 pounds. I'm not going to be thin. It's never happening because it's never happened because it's not my body. This same thing can be said for the fact that in the initial establishment of society, plenty of white women were thick, and that was deemed as attractive and perfectly normal. However, there was a shift because white supremacy. So the transatlantic slave trade becomes very prominent in the establishment of America, and these colonizers start to think to themselves, how can we simultaneously keep our white women submissive, weak, and frail under our violent patriarchy while also othering them from black women and creating a divide between them? We can kill two birds with one stone and tell them that it's gross to be fat and that they need to be thin. So we'll starve them. We'll keep them thin. That'll keep them weak and frail and mildly mentally unstable because they're not eating. And that will other them simultaneously from black women. And this just becomes a socially accepted construct in society, right, for hundreds of years to come. And it sort of works on its own, as most systems of oppression do once they're established, right? But it goes hand in hand with white supremacy. A good book to read is Fearing the Black Body, if you want to read more on that specifically, because I'm not here to talk about that. What I am here to talk about is how it is so obvious that after Barack Obama's presidency, which he served 2 terms, so he was president from 2009 to 2017, and the dawn of the body positivity movement and advocacy for plus-size models on the runway, and the same era that the Kim Kardashians are getting BBLs and every single one of them is dating a black man, it's no coincidence that this happened at the only time in history that America has had a black president. With Donald Trump coming to office, it's also no coincidence that everything that falls under the umbrella of white supremacy, one of those being fatphobia, is now on the rise, right? Not only have we seen the wicked cast amongst plenty of other female celebrities specifically, because again, I want you to understand that this starts with women because we live in a patriarchy. We see these women, not only the wicked cast, but a lot of them, are clearly starving themselves. They're visibly underweight, they do not look well, and they're obviously struggling with anorexia. If you know anything about Ariana Grande, you know she had an ED tumbler in 2013 when she first started Nickelodeon. She has been struggling with anorexia her entire career. It is no coincidence that Black Iana came into play right after Barack Obama's presidency. And now she is pandering to a level with her new aesthetic to white supremacy. Black Iana was her heaviest weight her entire career. Why? Because she was cosplaying black women. She had a skin tone so dark that when she was on stage with Nicki Minaj, she was darker than her. She was speaking in a way she's never spoken before, which is much more confident, louder, and more assertive than she's ever been.
We recently celebrated the 120th anniversary of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts.
I'm like, bitch, that's my cookie, it's my juice, okay? Come on, kill me, get your ass in here. Come on, girl.
And now she is frail, thin, helpless, submissive, vintage, pinup, white supremacist. No coincidence. In that same respect, the Kardashians have removed their BBLs, removed their lip filler and are no longer consistently dating black men as a whole. No coincidence. In the same respect, Taylor Swift has been much, much more open about the fact that she is a conservative racist, which she has always been. And I have a TikTok on that. If you want to watch it, I'll tag it below. In that same respect, Sabrina Carpenter did a 180 in her aesthetic from vampy grunge R&B pop, which is inspired by black women, to white supremacy. Who are these people owned by? White supremacist billionaires who are probably in the Epstein files. None of that is a coincidence. Okay, so I want you to understand how these celebrities represent propaganda to the masses in America, and that's why celebrity culture is so prominent in America. Then in correlation with that, how these celebrities are following trends, and what trend are they all following right now? Pandering to whiteness because of the rise in white supremacy. What were they doing prior, though? Appropriating blackness. Or what they feel blackness is, right? Because a lot of the things they're doing are just offensive in and of itself. Obviously, a level of racism is taking place. However, then you have celebrities like Taylor Swift who have always been racist and conservative, but have kept it under wraps. And now they're more open about it, right? I also have a video on TikTok about Sabrina Carpenter's thing because I don't like talking to Sabrina Carpenter fans. You guys are annoying. If you want to watch that video, you can watch it. If you like Sabrina Carpenter, then just fuck off, okay? I don't know why you're here. Go away. Outside of that, this trend with weight loss goes hand in hand with that. Because why are the Kardashians removing their BBLs and their lip fillers? So they can be smaller. Why? Who's thin historically under white supremacy? Oh, white women. Yeah, right. Great. Amazing. Mind you, thin black women exist, of course. But again, you have to look at the social construct of things and how things are used as propaganda, and how they play a certain role in society, right? Thinness is affiliated with whiteness historically under white supremacy. So yes, these women, these celebrities, these musicians who've historically always been plus size, because again, people are born into bigger bodies. Demi Lovato, Meghan Trainor, now on GLP, thinner than we've ever seen them. Why? Because naturally they're not that thin. They're not able to get that thin. The thinnest Demi Lovato's ever been was when she was doing crack. So, yeah. Outside of that, she's a thickie. And I love that for her, but apparently she doesn't. Meghan Trainor, literally, historically thick. Always been thick her entire life. Has a song all about that bass. Was one of her debut songs that she got famous off of. Thinner than we've ever seen her. Why? Because naturally, she can't obtain that level of thinness. These women are naturally thicker. Then you have professional athletes. Serena Williams telling you to take GLP-1 because she took it. Why? Because she couldn't lose her pregnancy weight. Something that naturally happens to women. Again, creating this narrative, this propaganda, that if you have gained weight after pregnancy and you haven't lost it, you're unattractive and you're doing something wrong. Are we being serious? Like, how disgusting are we willing to be and the level of objectifying women's bodies and pretending that women's existence is for pleasure? And this is why women are so obsessed with beauty and being attractive, because we are told throughout our whole lives in various forms through society that we exist to be attractive, to please people, to make people happy, to entertain them, to give them pleasure, to have sex with them, to provide them with a happy home. We exist to please people. That's what they tell you under the patriarchy. So now women are obsessed with how they look. Understandable. However, it's now at the point that we're encouraging weight loss injections from a professional athlete because of baby weight? And this literally showcases the fact that fatphobia is rooted in white supremacy. That is proof in and of itself that when we had a black president, we were seeing plus size advocacy everywhere, and it was becoming socially acceptable to be thick and curvy, and it was actually becoming sought after. It was becoming the ideal body to have, to be thick and curvy and hourglass. And now that white supremacy is on the rise, we have a plethora of women in Hollywood who are so visibly underweight, it is disturbing to look at them. Every time I get on YouTube, I get at least one weight loss injection ad. The Super Bowl had a Mike Tyson commercial calling people fat and nasty. And on the Victoria's Secret runway, there was maybe 2 plus size models who weren't even truly plus size. They were mid-size. They had very proportionate bodies, and they were still heavily critiqued by the masses because they were too fat to be on the Victoria's Secret runway. And I want people to understand that that is proof in and of itself that fat phobia is rooted in white supremacy. It is. Outside of that, please be aware that fat phobia is so prevalent right now and being shoved down your throat because so is white supremacy. Think of how violent the level of fascism we've always lived under, but are now very openly struggling with in a public way, right? In a way, and when I say that, I mean, it's sort of becoming so obvious to everyone in America, outside of America, that America is fascist, that it showcases the fact that it's so severe right now, right? In my opinion, as a communist, America has always been fascist, and I do believe that by definition it meets the 4 pillars of fascism. I'm not trying to throw around that word and use it incorrectly or sensationalize it. I do feel, in my opinion, that America has pretty much always met the 4 pillars of fascism, and that it by definition has always been a fascist country. However, that being my opinion, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it is so prevalent right now because it is so violent, it is so severe, it is so in your face, that these celebrities are showcasing it. Look how severely they're starving themselves to be thin. Look how openly conservative and racist Taylor Swift has been in 2025 alone. Look how severely Sabrina Carpenter's aesthetics shift into something so disgusting that she didn't win any Grammys for her last album. She was crying about it. That's proof in and of itself that white supremacy is on the rise. And it's proof in and of itself that fatphobia is on the rise with it, because fatphobia is rooted in white supremacy. Because thinness is affiliated as a social construct under white supremacy to whiteness. And it is just disturbing to get on YouTube every single day and have to block these ads. It was disturbing to edit this and realize how many ads I had just from YouTube alone for GLP injections. It is relentless. And then to have a Super Bowl commercial so heinous that you are calling people fat and nasty, when the Super Bowl commercials have historically been a form of entertainment that people look forward to, is so important and so directly connected to the levels of fascism and white supremacy that we're living under right now in America. I mean, we have terrorists in Minnesota, in California, rest in peace Keith Porter, executing people and receiving immediate immunity for it. So when you see someone on your TV calling you fat and nasty, and you see these GLP-1 injections, and you see these anorexic, underweight celebrities who are clearly sick and you're concerned about them, and when you see Serena Williams advertising weight loss injections as a professional athlete because she couldn't lose her baby weight, just know that it's because white supremacy is on the rise. And those things go hand in hand. And that's what people mean when they say everything's connected, right? Fatphobia, racism, ableism, classism, capitalism, they all fall under the umbrella of white supremacy. Even I'd argue fascism falls under that umbrella. And I don't know, it's just something I noticed and something I've been wanting to talk about, because the ads on YouTube have really been grinding my gears, and they're really pissing me off because it's disgusting. It's disgusting to casually be on YouTube damn near every day and see a GLP-1 commercial every day, every time I'm on YouTube. You watch a Super Bowl, they're calling you fat and nasty. You see a performer who's been plus size their entire life, who used to do plus size advocacy, who is now underweight because they're taking GLP-1. I'm tired of it. And I didn't even get into Ozempic, but obviously it's the same fucking thing. And even the simple fact that Ozempic is medication for diabetes. It's medication for diabetes. It has serious side effects. And these people are taking it for weight loss. That in and of itself is incredibly fucking dystopic and weird. Why are we in a society that's so normalized, that fatphobia is so normalized, that you're taking diabetes medication to lose weight because you can't naturally get as thin as you want to be? Maybe you're not supposed to be that thin. Maybe you're not supposed to be that thin, Meghan Trainor. You look weird. Maybe dieting and exercising never got you that thin because naturally you're not supposed to be that thin. Yes, some people are thinner than others, but some people are bigger than others. And to see these women who have, rabbit is so annoying. To see these women who have historically been plus size, and so you know that naturally they're plus size, become underweight from taking weight loss medication, it reaches such a level of dystopia in my brain that I'm like, this is so disgusting. I honestly am not so concerned about like having sympathy for these women as much as I'm, these are multimillionaires who are literally propagandizing the masses. I don't care. Sure, they're humans, that's great. Don't give a fuck. Don't have time to have empathy for everybody. Don't give a fuck about them. That being said, it's concerning to me in the sense of like, holy shit, what are they trying to get the masses to do? between the social media ads, the Super Bowl commercials, the professional athletes doing fucking partnerships, Meghan Trainor, anorexic celeb, like what is happening? And why are they trying to get us so thin? Except I know why. But at the same time, it's like, fuck off. You know what I mean? It gets to a point where it's like, fuck off.